Uh, the next topic, the next scenario is instance profile. I mean, it's about the instance profile. What exactly instance profile? Why we are going to use and what scenario will apply? Configure the instance profile. First, let's understand what exactly an instance profile. Instance profile is nothing but a container you can say or an IAM role where you can assign to an EC2 instance to grant temporary credentials for accessing AWS resource. Mostly for the instance profile, the core components are your IAM role and your profile name. I mean, wherever you are going to use to associate the role with EC2 and your temporary security credential, which you can say that is called STS, Security Token Service. So these are the key component for the instance profiles. And why we are going to, use instance profile? Uh, if you want to have to secure access to AWS services like S3, DynamoDB, EC2, and other more. And we have to auto rotate the credentials which can help you to reduce the security risk. And other scenario you can say like wherever it is required for EC2 auto scaling, ECSL Lambda to assume roles. So in that kind of a scenario we can use why you are going to use instance profiles. Okay, so let me discuss about one scenario. Let's say your organization is running an applications on Amazon EC2 instance, and one of your team needs to allow an applications running on EC2 instance to access the Amazon S3 buckets without using static AWS credentials. Okay, whatever I told you, right? Instance profile, it is only required when you don't want to give a permanent key. The permanent key in the sense your access key and secret access key of the IAM users. Okay, instead of giving the access key and secret access key of the IAM users, you are going to generate a temporary credentials for that user to access from a specific EC2 machines, so that it can help you to reduce the security risk. Again, I'm coming to one examples in general life. See, I am one of my friend, let's say Sidhu. Sidhu gave me the key to his room. He is having a very big apartment, almost 7, 8 rooms are there. He asked, "Hey, Sridhar, you can go inside the room," and he has given me the key. Okay, but his apartment is having 7, 8 room inside this. Let's say that is a villa. Let's not talk about the apartment. 7, 8 room inside that villa. He has given the main door key, but when I enter into that room, I don't have access to all of the room, whichever is already locked. If he will give the access, I mean, give the key for the entire all 7, 8 rooms, including the main door and the main door key, then there is no security. I can misutilize, right? I can do something wrong. Let's say I am Sridhar, I'm not his friend. He doesn't trust me. If he trusts me, then he can give me a permanent key. If he doesn't trust me, only he can go there and go to that specific rooms. And for that room key only he has given. That is for a temporary purpose. That's all. That is how in EC2, if I am going to give the access key and secret access key of the specific IAM user to someone, then he can do anything. He or she can do anything because he or she will have the complete access to the AWS environment. So to overcome such security risk, I mean to reduce such security threats, we normally create an instance profile. So, in that scenario, we normally come up with the instance profile. So that is what the scenario I'm discussing. Your organization is running applications on Amazon EC2 instance. One of your team needs to allow an application running on EC2 instance to access only to S3 buckets without using static AWS credential. Static AWS credential in the sense your access key and secret access key. That is the permanent key. Okay, once someone will have that, they can not only S3 bucket, they can do anything in your environments. But that is not what we are going to give. We are going to give the limited access with the temporary credentials. Temporary token will be generated by a AWS managed one that is called security token service. There is one managed. It is that STS. It managed automatically by AWS security token services, the temporary security credentials. Now, the security team wants to implement this. The security team has strictly instructed that IAM user access keys should not be used. The architect, let's say I am a security architect. I asked my team member that in our development team, whoever is asking for this request to access the S3 bucket, I asked my team member, I'm the architect, I asked my team member, hey, don't give the static credentials, I mean access key and secret access key of that IAM user, like whoever is asking from development team. You just create an instance profile and attach to that specific EC2 machines. That's all. Okay. So what are the last tasks we are going to perform? We are going to perform. We have to create a role that grants EC2 instance permissions to access specific S3 buckets. Does the IAM role to an EC2 instance using instance profile verify that the EC2 instance can access to S3 without using AWS access key. Okay, so that means ensure least privilege by restricting the S3 permissions to only the required buckets. This is what we are going to perform in the lab. Let's jump in. Okay, by the way, I think I have any message running. Yeah, no message running. Let's say before doing the testings, let me launch one message. Okay, let me launch one message. Let's say this is a web server. Anyway, it's a lab Hanson. So I am doing from beginning, but in the real time machine is already there. If it is a new requirement, that is separate case. But if it is a existing environment and someone is asking to get the access to your S3 bucket. So let's say I'm launching one machine into micro, and this is the not recommended. Not recommended is fine. That's fine. I can log in from here, or I can log in with my key pair. Okay, either of one is fine. I'm giving security groups. Okay, I'm launching with a default VPC. Okay, anyway, it's having some internet gateway attached. Click on launch instance. Okay, go over here. One second. Let me open this one as well, mobile stream. By that time, let the machine up. This one as well. This one as well. Let me check if this machine ready. Yeah, launching one web server. I have my source code with me. Okay, go to advanced details. Not to be worried about this IAM section only, not to be worried about EC2 and all. That's when the EC2 sections computes section will start, then I will be quite smart, master enough on those steps, whatever I am doing every year. I'm just trying to this launch one EC2 machines with a couple of with the Apache web server. Let me try. One second. Let's say this is my HTML and CSS file. I am going to launch a web server, static web page, okay, in my server, whichever I am going to launch it. Oh, I have given right. Yeah, fine, fine, fine. Yeah, click on launch instance. Let it launch. Let it ready. By that time, what we have going to do? This is the first steps. Make sure you have your application server with you, or it is not there as part of practice. You have to launch your own machine because you have to test it, right? So as such, when I try to log into the server, go to your sessions and try to connect the server. Let's see if it is ready or not. I'm just giving my private key. Okay, I'm able to connect now. Let's say now as such, whatever buckets is there, let me create. The machine is ready. So if I'll try to find out whatever the list of buckets are there in my accounts. Now I logged into this account, but see, it's showing unable to locate credentials. You can configure credentials by running AWS configure. If I am going to type AWS configure, then what will ask? It will ask for the access key and secret access key. For the whom, which user? Like the user who is having, no, the user who is going to access this EC2 machines. For that user's access key and secret access key, I have to update over here. Once I give this access key and secret access key of that machine, so then what will happen? uh, he or she can do anything. I mean, he or she can access to entire AWS resource, can do any kind of changes. But this is not actually a best practice as part of security best practice. That is how to overcome this. We are going to configure a instance profile so that only to access the S3 bucket, that is how the permissions we are going to write. And for that, we have to create a role and associate that role to this EC2 instance. Okay. Now I am accessing, because see, I am accessing this machine now. So let's say I'm part of development team, and security team told, hey, give the temporary credentials to Sridhar as a part of development team. Now, he should not able to access any other resource. That is how. Now I have to create a role for this one. Let's jump in over here. Let's say, uh, I think my machine is ready. Yeah, even you see my machine is ready. You see, I can access to my machines. My website is ready, static web page. See, okay, this is my web page. I have launched in the advanced user data. There itself I put the class scripts and launch the machines, and this is my static page. This is the web server thing. Now, but they wanted to access the S3 bucket from these machines. Okay, so what we have to do? We have to create a role now. Let's say you go to your IAM, create a role. Let's say I'm going to create a role for EC2. This is for EC2, right? Someone can access, whoever the development team, the user, they want to access to S3 bucket. Now, there are two buckets. See, when you go, you see there are two buckets. Now it is not visible to this EC2 machines. Okay, on the same account, EC2 is there, S3 bucket is there, but when the user is logging to this EC2 machines, because this is their web server, they want to do there is some codes, code base, and they have there in their S3 bucket, they want to access from these machines, but they are unable to unless there is a static credential is configured. But as part of security best practice, we are not going to access key or secret access key. That is the um, permanent credentials we don't want to give. Just to reduce the security risk, we are going to create a instance profiles. For that, we have going to create a launch and create a IAM roles for this, and that IAM role has to be associated with this EC2 machines. Click on next. Okay, what is the permission you want to give? Let's say you want to give your S3 full access. Again, you might be asking, hey, I don't want to give entire S3 bucket. So you can write your own custom policy. You can click back. Okay, you can just click on next, finish. Then later you create a custom policy associated with this. Okay. Anyway, let's quickly do this. Let's say I want to give S3 full access. Let's say S3, AWS S3 full access for now. You can create your custom one. You want to give the specific buckets. So let's say it's a CDM instance profile. Okay. Now see, the user action is allowed. See, on the back end, this guy is taking care about all this thing. STS, security token service. This guy will take care and generate a temporary tokens or credentials to access the resource, specific resource. I have given to access the entire S3 buckets. If you don't want, you can write your own custom policy data that user can access to only this bucket, let's say, or my ELK stack bucket, only this bucket only. So that you can do it. Okay. For now, I am using manage policy, create a role. Okay. I think you entered. Yeah. So what you have to do, next step is you go to your EC2. Okay. Select your web server, whichever you have now. Select that web server. Okay. You see the IAM role section is empty. What you have to do, select that, go to your security, modify IAM roles. Here you see there is the one we created, CDM instance profiles. This is the IAM roles we have created. Okay. Update IAM roles. Yeah, that's all. That's done. You see now. Now if I can I see the bucket now? See, complete full access. Anything he wants to, even he wants to create a bucket also he can do, because I have given full access permission. AWS S3 MB. This is CLI. You can perform anything. AWS S3 MB. Let's say he wants to create a bucket. My web app. my web app, new buckets you want to create. You see, created. You want to see whether the bucket created or not. You see, created. You want to see in the GUI. You come here. You see, refresh. You see, my web app. Okay, yeah, that's all about instance profiles. So now only you can write a custom policy. If you can write a custom policy, you want only my ELK stack has to be reflected over here when the user will access to the server. So for that, you can set up permissions like this. Okay, that's all about instance profile and the scenario, when to use, what to use, how to implement. Yeah, that's all.